If you'd like to hear the full episode or any of the scenario archives, be sure to subscribe and click the link in our bio. Also, like and follow the Scenario Radio Show on all of our social media platforms for more real talk with the playlist. Peace.
All right, we are back. That was Aisha, KB's pick, her 5th grade pick, her favorite group at the time, who she was in love with.
Definitely.
All
I
of
think
them.
it was a safe group to love too, because like you said, or like we had talked about off air, they aren't as raunchy as B2K.
Yeah, no, they weren't on all of that type of stuff back then. Although I think I heard they got pretty gangster later on, but that's a whole other thing. That wasn't musical. That was just life kicking in, as it does sometimes. But you had their poster on your wall. You dressed like them.
I did.
So when you were dressing like ABC and you had your clothes on inside out, and then Criss Cross came along and told you that was wiggity wiggity whack, what did you do?
Hey, I had to switch the inside out. I had to go with who was winning at the time.
So you ain't faithful.
On.
You ain't loyal at all.
She cannot be
I
trusted.
grew up and then I started to like Criss Cross.
Yeah, is that what you call it? You was in 6th grade. Then you just, okay. All right. Yeah, I see how this goes. Them poor boys didn't never have a chance with you,
They
KB.
didn't have a chance.
So they
don't.
posted
They
down.
still don't have a chance.
All right. Well, now we know what you about. But then we'll talk about more about that later. All right. So with us, we have our special guest co-host Royce Massengill, the host of Royce's Rant. It's a podcast. It's also a web series, I guess you would say, so to speak, interview style web series. It's a little bit of both, but whatever the case, it's a great show. When I saw it, I knew that I wanted to get him on. We had a chance to kind of chat it up when I met him at a speaking engagement. And since then, I was like, I've got to have the opportunity to get Royce on. So first show back, got Royce. All right, man. So yeah, your show, you've been doing it, I assume, for a little while. What was the progression that led you to do this thing in the first place?
Well, actually, like I said, we've been doing this, like I said, when you asked the question how long we've been doing this, like I said, I had to split that in segments because Royce's Rant, the podcast, officially started Juneteenth of last year.
Okay.
I wanted to, the reason why I wanted to do that is because the area that I live in, where I'm from, the 931 area, Tullahoma, the Tri-County, Coffee County, Franklin County, Lincoln County, I kind of wanted them to get an understanding of what, Juneteenth was all about, because they would see us wear these 1865 shirts and stuff, and people were curious and wanted to know. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start this show on Juneteenth, explain the history of it, and then also just give them a little bit of me, just letting everybody. I was really reintroducing myself because I went by the name of Tay back, the past 5 or 6 years. I took a little hiatus for about a year prior to the show. And actually, Royce's Rant, the idea came from a mixtape. I'm kind of like a little singer, a little artist. You know what I'm saying? I got some bars, and so it started in 2013, and the mixtape was called Royce's Rant. And the cover on it is it's got my hand over my mouth and stuff like that, because I'm known to say sometimes some controversial things, especially back then. So I put it into like 17 different songs of instrumentals that were already out, like the J. Cole's and the Kendrick Lamar's and stuff when they came out, when they were hot. And I was basically just talking about the government, whack rappers, you know what I'm saying, messed up relationships, you know what I mean, putting hooks to them to make them real catchy, because used to do jingles back in the day too, so we were pretty good at recreating songs, keeping the same format, but then replacing them with different words, kind of like a Weird Al Yankovic or something like that, back in the day. But
Okay.
so overall, what we really do, the podcast is just something that it's a big umbrella. But we do short films, we direct music videos, we write and produce music. We actually have 2 artists, young cats. One here from Manchester named K Mars, and another one named Roxo out in Nashville. They're both rappers and pop R&B singers collectively together. So we've done a lot of work in between 2008, which is when we really started, 2008 with the music and video. We've done work with 50 Cent to CEO of Miami Mike, who's the manager of Soulja Boy.
So how
Memphis, all those guys.
So how does this tie in for you though? Because that's a lot of different things. Like when you find yourself kind of spreading into all those different areas, how does the desire to create music, the desire to entertain in that way, translate for you to putting a microphone in front of your face and just sitting down and having those sometimes awkward conversations that you have to have when you're talking about so many different issues?
It's a good question, because the fact that we were involved in anything, theater and stuff like that, with the connections that we had and the relationships that we built, you know, let's just say we were dealing with music. When we were going on a trip, we were shooting a documentary for Soldier Boy's manager or something like that. There were so many questions that I wanted to ask them outside of music, you know, but it's just the setting that we were in. They just wanted to talk about music, you know what I'm saying? Which is cool, you know what I mean? But as much as I like to rant, well, people know me. If they work with me in video or if I shot their videos before, it's almost not like a video shoot. I mean, we know we're there for a video shoot, but then next thing you know, we're having a fireside chat in the middle of it, before and after. So I'm like, man, as much as I like to talk, and you know, whether I'm right or wrong, you know, my producer Josh and you know, his big brother Johnny were like, man, you need to go on and just get on the radio, you know what I'm saying, or podcast or whatever, and call it Royce's Rant. You know, Johnny actually named it Royce's Rant. I was like, man, that's pretty cool, because all the times when we were in the garage, you know, making music and stuff, I wouldn't say I was the class clown, but it was like I was kind of like the icebreaker, because a lot of people be uptight, you know what I'm saying, and I come up with different scenarios on what would you do and stuff like that, and we're like, no, let's go on and put a mic in front of you.
Let me ask you, what really grinds your gears? You said you rant. Is it politics? Is it career? Is it relationships?
The funny
what
thing
really grinds
is,
your gears?
I'm glad you asked that question. So I'm going to ask permission if I can say this word, and it starts with a W and ends with a D.
As long as it doesn't go against FCC regulations, you can say it.
I use it in a metaphor, so to speak. So how this came about, like when you said politics, I'm not a political dude at all. All right. And this is how this kind of happened. All right. Because normally I'll talk about sexual abuse. I'll talk about baby mamas and baby daddies. I'll talk about, you know, music, yoga, and stuff like that. But what happened politically is I'm in the Murfreesboro area right now. I'm in Tullahoma, just doing some family business right now. I was in Murfreesboro, and this is when the little rallies were going on with George Floyd and stuff at the square, right? And man, look, it was Sunday. I was just laying on my bed, you know what I mean? And honestly, man, I was just going to get some, you know, some turnip greens, you know what I mean? And on my mission to get,
you said quote unquote turnip greens. Okay.
You know
you can talk about turnip greens on the show. Anything, as long as we don't break any FCC regulations, you're perfectly fine talking about it.
I was just getting some, you know what I'm saying, some
the devil's lettuce.
That which grows from the earth. You know what I'm saying? And I was on a mission for that. And so he told me to meet him at the rally. I'm like, okay, you know. And so I went to the rally, and the journalist in me is just like, man, I got to go put this on camera. You know what I'm saying? So I put this all on camera. Next thing you know, fast forward, I still ain't found my guy. By that time, I'm focused on what's going on. Next thing you know, I'm looking for turnip greens, and then I end up with a bullhorn in my hand, leading 300 people to the police station.
Okay, let's stop right there, because this sounds like a story I need to hear the rest of. We're gonna go. I want to get you a song pick right quick. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about his quest for turnip greens and how it turned out for him to have a bullhorn in his hand, because that's a long way from turnip greens to a bullhorn.
It is. It is.
Right, so your fifth grade song pick, what was it, man?
Man, it was Snoop Dogg. It was Gin and Juice, man.
Gin and Juice.
I had no idea what it was, but like I said, it just felt good. It just felt good at that time. I was 10, 11 years old. Like, I like the feeling of this, even though I don't know what he talking about.
You thought it was a juice box, maybe?
I didn't even know then. Like, I was just thinking, you know what I'm saying, some juicy juice, you know what I'm saying? And,
high seed.
You know, and I'm like, what's Indo? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I'm Indo, so maybe if I don't care, man. I like what he's saying.
If he said turnip greens and juice, maybe
definitely. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? That was the jam.
All right. Well, we're going to play Snoop right here from his debut album, Gin and Juice. And when we come back, we're going to chat a little bit more with Royce. And we'll also play Win Some, Lose Some. So y'all stay with us on the Scenario Radio Show.
This is the Scenario Radio Show. Real talk with a playlist.